listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Good evening. This is You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. I'm your host, Remus Bowman. We had a great weekend in New Orleans this week. This last week, we had the Jazz and Heritage Festival. So in commemoration of the Jazz and Heritage Festival, I'm wearing my T-shirt with my saxophone on it today to give a big thumbs up to all those who participated in the Jazz and Heritage Festival. I'm sure it was a great time for most people that went, although the weather was a little rough on a couple of days, but that's New Orleans. You know, we have people coming in and out of the city for the entirety of that 2-week period, and they're having fun. They're having good fun. And, you know, one of the best parts of the Jazz and Heritage Festival this year is there was no big problems. There was no big catastrophes. As a matter of fact, I watched the news the entire, every day that the festival went on so that I could stay abreast of what was going on out there. And everybody just had fun. You know, everybody that I talked to, you know, had a ball. All right. It's time to get down to business. Are you up on your game when it comes to your credit report? Are you up on your game when it comes to your credit score? That's an important factor. If you're not up on your game when it comes to your credit report or your credit score, and a catastrophe happens, you know, right now, we have in the United States today, we have the largest number of people who are in danger of having their automobiles repossessed, that are falling behind on their house notes, the car payments, the whole 9 yards. And what's happening is people are not getting it. When you fail to walk into a dealership or a mortgage company and or a leasing office, you know, I get phone calls from people all the time. Some employers require you to have a certain credit score in order to get a job. You know, I promise you, if you want to become more mobile and you want to have more options, the first thing you need to start with is having a good credit score. And it's not that difficult. It's not completely above you. Everybody can do it. You know, I talk to people all the time. There's lots of companies out there that are performing credit. I was on the phone a little while ago because with a friend of mine who I'd wanted to bring in as an agent to represent you and your credit. And, you know, I've known her for quite a while. She told me that she had gone through a little situation over the last month or two, and, you know, that she was a little apprehensive about getting involved in a new business because she was already undertaking something different right at this point. The point is that if you haven't studied, if a person can't prove to you or assert to you that they have a background, that they have people that they've actually helped, I'm telling you, they're winging it. And, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has to start someplace. I've been in the credit repair business for 5 years. And the way that I started out is I started representing a company that you're probably familiar with. It's called FES Financial Services, which was a great company. It still is a great company. But of course, when you're working for someone else, you don't actually learn uh, how to do the process, how to send those letters out. What codes should you use when you're addressing information, when you're sending information out, and you're saying to the credit bureaus. One of the biggest waste of times that you could have is to file a dispute electronically. You know, I'll show you the difference. Think about it. When we file disputes, you have to sign the letters. When we file a dispute, your personal information, your identification, and social security card is attached to those disputes. Now, when we send that information to the credit bureaus, they have, there's a certain degree of legitimacy that proves that you're the person who's actually in disagreement with the information that's on your credit report. Think about it. If you're the person who's certifying that this information is incorrect, now we have a more legitimate reason to do an investigation. More often than not, when people submit these electronic deals over Credit Karma and uh, other companies, when they do that and they're not sending in the actual proof of identification, the actual social security card, they're not sending anything in. They're just uh, sending information in. It's going from your computer to the other computer to the computer in the credit bureau. That's a big waste of time. And so what will happen is the credit bureaus will often send letters back saying that your claim was frivolous, that that they are not going to invest or reinvestigate your claim. Why did you get that letter? Why did the credit bureau send you a letter advising that they've already investigated your information, but they found it to be less than creditable, and that they're not going to investigate it anymore? Now, what can you do to tell the credit bureaus, hey, I know my rights. I know that, based on federal guidelines, you have to give me an opportunity to dispute this information because the information is incorrect. The number one thing that we fail to realize is that the credit bureaus is not a government entity. They're private corporations, and they're in the business of selling your information. Whenever you go into a car dealership or a leasing office or anywhere else and you apply for something, that company pays a fee to the credit bureaus. Now, also what happens is, let's say, for instance, let's take Capital One. Capital One's a great company, and they send you out information, and they allow you to dispute information on their because you have a card with them or whatever. That information is being submitted to them electronically, and all they're doing is they're taking that same information that you've submitted to them electronically and submitted electronically to the credit bureaus. There's no specific reason why the credit bureau should investigate your information. Same thing with Credit Karma. Credit Karma only provides two uh, two branches of the three credit reporting agencies. They only represent two of them. So what happens is these wicked uh, collection agencies will pile information up on the third reporting agency that you'll never even know is there. So if you don't do the investigation, if you don't send the information yourself, if you don't have someone who tells you, well, I'm going to send that information in on your behalf, and we're going to mail it to them, we're going to actually, complete dispute letters and send those dispute letters directly to the credit bureaus, then you have the same information, when it's electronic. Now, you've got to understand that collection agencies, when they submit information to the credit bureaus, it probably has a minimum amount of information that they have to submit to the credit bureaus saying that this information is correct. But when you see that information on your credit report and you say, whoa, I didn't have cable in 2018. Everybody left the cable, Cox Cable long ago, years. But now all of a sudden, when you go on your credit report, you find that you have a bill from a company that you haven't been with over 10 years ago. Where does that come from? So what happened is these companies are packaging up information and submitting it to the different collection agencies. Those agencies are buying this information from those companies at pennies on a dollar and reasserting that the information is correct. Even though the information that they're submitting to the credit bureaus is not legitimate, you'll never know. The reason why you won't know is because you're not doing the work to find out what's on your credit report and what's not. I had a guy not very long ago who had just made 18, and when we pulled up his credit report, he had all kinds of stuff on his credit report that didn't make any sense. 4 or 5 years previous, a family member had put their utility bills in his name. And, people do that kind of thing. They may not intend to create havoc in that person's name. Certainly, Mama doesn't want her lights off, and she doesn't have a big deposit that she needs to pay to get them back on, or she has an outstanding bill. So what they do is, and I'm not saying mothers will do this only, fathers will do it too, because there's lots of juniors who have derogatory information on their credit file because they have the same name as the older person. And then, of course, there's always those demons that are out there that's sticking it to us. Their job is to find opportunities to charge you up for purchases that they're legally purchasing in your name or getting credit cards in your name, and you don't even know that you own them. There's a whole game. There's a myriad of information out there, but until you actually do the work, are you up on your game? Your game is to know what's on your credit report. This is You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network, and we have an opportunity for you to get a copy of all 3 credit reports without spending any money. It's free of charge. We'll be right back. It's time for our first break. We'll be right back in just 2 minutes.
New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
Hi, I'm Remus Bowman. I'd like to invite you to join me every Monday at 12 o'clock. We're going to provide information for you that's going to give you the opportunity to feel confident in whatever it is that you need. When you have a good credit score, you can get whatever you want at a low price, low interest rates, and that's the way it is. That's You and Your Credit on Mondays at 12 o'clock. I'll see you then. We're back. Hey, this is the New Orleans Talk Network. The name of the show is called You and Your Credit. Now, You and Your Credit also has a page on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel. Now, the show's been published for 5 years. If you'll go back to YouTube and like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, you'll be able to go back to some of our information that we've published back since 2014, which was when we aired our first show. And it's been great. We, a lot of times we would bring people onto the show for testimonies and that kind of thing. So if you want to see testimonies of people that we've actually helped, go to You and Your Credit on YouTube. There's 5 years of shows there. Go back to the very beginning when I had black hair, and you'll get information that you probably a lot of times, and I'm, this is something that is ongoing. And I realize that I learn something virtually every day, primarily because I spend a lot of time on the internet, and I get a chance to watch some of the offerings that are done by other people in the credit repair business, and some of them make no sense. I get a chuckle. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of times people will tell you things. Like I had this one lady, she says, don't use a form letter, or what is it called? A template. Don't use a template to dispute information. Write it out to the credit bureaus. I found that to be very funny. There's nothing wrong with templates, and there's nothing wrong with sending your information in to the credit bureaus in a creditable way. And she says, just write it. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. There's nothing wrong with that. Getting in the game. Are you up on your game? The fact of the matter is there's nothing wrong with sending information or submitting information to the credit reporting agencies in a handwritten form. But let me ask you, look at your handwriting and you decide if you feel that when you write information out, you actually want that process to be represented by your handwritten information. I often would say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And if you submit information to the credit bureaus that's illegible, that they can't read, or that they're going to have difficulty reading, now they're dealing with millions and millions and millions of people all submitting information at the same time. And that's why, if you ever notice that when you did your dispute through one of these electronic venues, such as Credit Karma, that you'll get a response back very quick. And it's generally the response that you generally get back is that there's no change on your credit report. that you just got duped, because it gives you a false sense of security that the process is actually working when it's not. It's not doing anything. So, I have people come to me all the time and they say, well, I submitted my own dispute letters. How did you do it? What did you do when you submitted those letters? What else did you submit? Did you submit the letters? Did you send your identification? Did you send your driver's license or ID card? Did you send your Social Security card? Did you submit anything along with that letter that proved that this is you? Did you sign it? There are all different things that need to be done. Now, what we've done is we have a computer software system that if you give us an opportunity to earn your business and we're submitting your letters for you, you can sign electronically. I can send you the portal, which gives you the agreement and gives you all the information that you need to know about what our plan is. Also, you'll be able to look at that portal, and you'll know exactly once we pull the credit report, and you'll be able to look at the portal, and you'll know exactly what information we're disputing, and you'll know exactly what we're saying to the credit bureaus. Also, we will be, if you provide us with when you complete the portal, the information, and you sign and you save your information, then we'll be able to produce a copy of your identification, which we'll save in the portal. It'll be your portal that you'll be able to look at anytime you want. And, of course, your Social Security card. And that information will be generated every 30 to 40 days and sent out to the credit bureaus on your behalf. Our monitoring system is done through, we have several different companies that provide your credit reports, but you have to give authorization for us to be able to pull those credit reports. And, so that information could be done on your behalf as well. For a long time, as I said earlier, I represented another company, and I'm not going to say their name because, not because I have a bad opinion of them, because I don't. I think they're a great company. But more often than not, I talk to people who tell me, well, Mr. Remus, I don't want to have to mail this stuff out myself. When I pay my fee, I want the company that's doing the work for me to mail the information out directly to the credit bureaus in a timely manner, and I just want to be rest assured that the work is being done. Well, I promise you, you and your credit.us, you and your credit.net will do exactly that. You'll be able to go to your portal every 4 to 6 weeks, and you'll be able to see the changes on your credit score. You'll be able to see what's come off your credit bureau, as well as what's been updated. You'll know exactly how many derogatory accounts are still there, because that'll be a part of your portal. It's going to be there for you. So when somebody tells me, say, well, I don't want to have to report this, I don't want to have to mail this stuff in, I promise you, you will not have to mail the information in. We will do it for you, but we have to have a current driver's license or identification, current social security information, and we have to have your proof of residency, because we don't have your credit reports mailed to a resident that you don't live at. So everything's up to date. You want to have someone that's going to mail the information out for you, we do that. If you want to have someone that can provide access to the information that's on your credit report, we do that. If you want to be able to look at the information that's current on your credit report, that's available also. So tell me, why haven't you gone to youandyourcredit.us and pulled up a copy of your free credit report? That makes no sense. It's free. Pull it up, decide what your score is, decide whether. I had a guy the other day, and I'm sorry to stop, but I had this thought. And I had a guy the other day, and his sister had been a client of mine for a number of years, and we've gotten her up to 650, 700, and then life is tough. Things go up and things go down. Hell, I went through cancer, so I know it was the first time. Back when Katrina hit, I was an 800 plus Beacon score, but 2 years ago I got cancer. And as a result, my thoughts wasn't about my credit cards or any loans that I had. As a matter of fact, I was working at Toyota of New Orleans, and I had a very nice Jaguar that I loved. But what happened is, every time I brought the car to get it repaired or to get it serviced, there was a reasonable large charge for it. And this particular, what happened is, it was kind of crazy. And you never really know what's going to happen in your life, man. I went to a gas station, put gas in the car, and the gas tank nozzle was on the back of the hood, on the back of the trunk. And I had 99 things going on that day and forgot to put the gas, to close and to tighten the lock for the gas tank. It was actually raining that day, and water got into my gas, into the gasoline for my car. Now, what that meant is, I was driving this car, and now I just found out that I had cancer. So my mind was on that, and now I put gas in the car, and I forgot to put the lock on the nozzle. And water got into the gasoline, and it caused all kinds of problems. This is going to be a major cost to change the fuel pump and all kinds of stuff. So we were thinking about getting that done, but the cost to get it done, water was all in the motor and all that stuff. It was prohibitive. So because I knew I was sick, and at the time my condition was getting worse. I hadn't started the cancer treatments yet, and I knew I could feel, I could sense that rough times were coming. So what I did is, and it's time for our second break. I'm going to be right back, and I'll continue to tell the story when we come back.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
New year, new show. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I'm coming back at you with the new year of Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. And this year, we're moving to Monday night with brand new exciting guests and engaging literary conversation. And we want our listening audience to be there with us, because this is going to be a year you will not forget. Catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m., right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. And you can also reach us on the Meet the World Image Solutions Facebook page, the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page, and we're on Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. So catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you there.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Thank you for joining. This is the New Orleans Talk Network, and the show is You and Your Credit. I'm your host, Remus Bowman. And I was in the middle of discussing what happened when I found out I was sick. And so my health started to depreciate. I was starting to get worse and worse and worse. Now, to make it even more complicated, I found out at the same time that I had COPD. So here we go. I've got COPD and prostate cancer all at the same time. And I'll tell you that because I'm a relatively strong person and I've been around for a while and I've been through adversity before, I don't give up. I don't quit. I don't know anything about quitting. It's in me to just keep going. Just put one step ahead of the other and make it work. So, of course, the first thing that I thought about was, well, the car had been paid for. I owned it. I had the title to it, so it wasn't a problem. That wasn't a problem. But now I'm sick. I still have a job that I'm working on every day. And now my income reduces by 75%. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I need, my transportation, my car is down. And now I need a new car. I need to, bite the bullet and spend, I don't know, over $2,000 on the repairs for the car I was driving. And I'm anticipating getting worse all at the same time. And, and I talk to people all the time and I try to be encouraging with them because, there's an old saying that says time heals all wounds, that you can get through everything. You can get through everything. But you've got to believe that. You got to have faith. Is it, because you have adversity doesn't mean that you need to give up or just say, hey, man, I don't want to go on. Don't work that way. So I needed to make a decision about what I was going to do with the car because I needed to, even though I was sick, I still needed to go to work every day because I had commitments, I had clients, and I had people that were buying cars from me, and I actually loved what I was doing. And I don't know if I would have been able to keep going had I not been associated with the people that I was associated with or connected to. So it would have been an even more difficult time if I didn't have the friends that I had. So what I decided to do was instead of fixing the more expensive car, and because it was it was nice, but it was also very costly to maintain, and it required high octane gas. And I thought to myself, because I remember during Katrina, when I would drive this car, everybody else would be paying about $3 a gallon for gas, and I was paying $3.50 to $3.80 all over the country. I was like, wow, this is something I don't really want to do anymore. And in fact, it's kind of bared out because just recently, gas was about $2 a gallon. It's gone back up a little bit since then. But if you're going through adversity and physically you're not going to be able to be at the same, maintain the same lifestyle that you're currently living, and you see, there's a part of me that said, hey, this might be a bad investment for you at this time because it's going to drag you down. And when you're sick and you have adversity, the least thing you want to do is to go out and get additional pressure. Having bad credit is pressure. Not being able to transition from one car to the next because you got to have transportation, or you have to be able to go to doctor's appointments, or you have to go to work, or you have to take care of your children, is pressure. it's awesome pressure. It's stressful. So what I did is I had the car. I left the car in the parking lot at Toyota for months until the manager said, "When are you gonna get that car out of my lot?" I actually bought another car that was a lot less expensive, looked pretty nice, it ran good, and believe it or not, this was 2 years ago. I still have that car. Never had a problem with it. But the point is that for what I paid for the new car, I would have had to pay to get the other car repaired. And that was just not a road that I wanted to go down. I like my car. It was very expensive, very nice, with the wood, grain, and all that stuff, leather, sunroof, it was beautiful. But was it really worth it to bring on the additional stress of trying to get it repaired when there would have been a downtime for me not to be able to use it because it was going to take a number of days to have it have it repaired versus just moving on over and getting a new car that I could pay for relatively easily. And that's what we're talking about. Are you up on your game? What decision would you have made to keep the expensive car or to, that was paid for? I didn't do a repossession. Nobody, Capital One didn't come get their car from me. It was paid for. I had the title, or to go out and get a new car. Instead of making a bad investment in a car that I knew was going to cost me a substantial amount of money to maintain at the worst time in my life. I had never been ill at all and throughout all my years. So of course I made the decision to get the new car. And getting the second car was the best decision I made because I never had to pay any maintenance on it. The worst thing I've ever had to do was get the oil change. And I believe we had, now I've had the car for over 2 years, and we got the oil change. And every so often I take it out to Toyota because I bought a Toyota, and they'll check it out, and if there's any problems, they let me know. And the cost is relatively inexpensive compared to what would have had to pay to maintain the other car. But am I glad I made that decision? Yes, I am. Now, I'm saying this because sometimes people will go out and have you ever, you know what gravity is? Gravitational pull. If you stand on top of a bridge and you jump off of it, you will go straight down. And, bad decisions will pull you down. Bad decisions will have a gravitational pull on your life. And sometimes we make decisions out of emotion. We walk into dealerships and we know that we probably, in most cases, the average person makes less than $2,000 a month. And they have a house note of $650 to $700, and they go out and they sign for a $500 or $600 or $700 a month car note. Now, the probability of that person failing to complete that contract is way up there, man. It's like 80, 90%. Especially if it's a person that doesn't have any additional income coming from an outside source. And it's just them. And if they have bad credit, then their low credit score is affecting their interest rates and their insurance costs. Just last week, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine. You guys probably are familiar with him. His name is Dan Burkhardt. Dan and I used to have an insurance agency back in the 80s, and Dan and I have been knowing each other for a number of years. And whenever we have an opportunity to talk to each other, those conversations are crazy. We talk probably an hour, if not longer. We talk about all kinds of things because we've known each other for a long time. And, so sometime over the next few months, we're going to be putting some flyers in the Burkhardt insurance agencies relevant to insurance costs and the effect of having a low credit score versus your insurance payments. And a lot of times people will go out and they'll make these purchases, and there's not a chance that you're going to be able to complete these contracts, and you know it when you sign for these high interest loans. You know that the probability of you having your automobile repossessed is very great. So instead of doing that, why not contact me so that I can get you back on a good schedule, so that when you call the insurance company to get a rate for insurance, I don't care if you're with Allstate, Geico, State Farm, Go Auto, Progressive. I don't care what insurance company you go to get insurance with. They're going to run your credit. And if your credit score is below a certain amount, if it's at a certain amount, it's going to get you if it's a 700 or more or better, it's going to get you a discount on your automobile insurance. If it's 400, 450, 500, it's going to get you a surcharge. They're going to charge you more. The insurance company, when they underwrite your policy, is going to charge you more on your automobile insurance based on your credit score. And a lot of people are not aware of that. Time for our last and final break. We're going to be right back. We're going to talk about a good friend of mine that was here that did the show with us a couple of years ago, Mr. Renee. He runs five Allstate insurance agencies around the city. So come on back, hang with me, and we'll be right back.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Well, what's up, everybody? This is boy Coach Hurricane here. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHayoU15.
Listen, this is your boy Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook at Brandon Fred Jones, or you can follow me on Twitter at BFredJones.
This is Jeremiah Gray, man, with G Sports. You can follow me on Facebook, Jeremiah Gray, AKG, and on Twitter, G_paid-in-full-08.
Pay me the money! money.
This is Charles Stewart.
And the Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams.
We are Church Without Walls.
And we are here today to give you information that you don't normally get at church.
We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12.
Call in with your comment or your questions, and we'll be glad to try and answer them for you. If we don't have the answer today, we will get it to you on a message.
Don't you dare miss it.
We're back. Hey guys, we only have about 10 or 15 minutes left, and I wanted to finish up the story. Now, I don't know if most people, very seldom do I talk about the insurance agency that I owned for a number of years back in the 70s and 80s. I'm an old guy, man. I feel like a relic. And matter of fact, we owned an agency up until about 91. And we were very successful. One of the largest minority-owned insurance agencies in Louisiana at that time. And so we predominantly did property and casualty insurance. Life insurance was not my big deal. It was more automobile and automobile and homeowners. And we also did business insurance. I insured a number of not Walmarts, but Burger Kings and places like that. We did the workers' comp. And, there was a number of companies that we also did charter buses. Boy, so. But anyway, I had a conversation with this guy. And there's some people who they assess that they know every damn thing. They know stuff. They know so much. And, and if you listen to them, you'll realize that they really have no clue of what they're talking about. And if you don't know what the hell you're talking about, sometimes you might want to shut up. Man. But anyway, I believe it was last week. And I was talking, now, again, I mentioned Dan, but the guy that was on the show, his name was Renee Manfrey. And Renee is the manager. He's a partner with Premier Automotive Group with Allstate Insurance at the different automobile dealerships that Premier owns. They have Premier Nissan, Toyota New Orleans, Premier Dodge, Premier Honda in the New Orleans area, and Premier Kia. So anyway, Renee was on the show, and I've known Renee for a number of years. And so I'm telling this guy, I said, man, look, I said, I don't know if you're aware of this, but insurance companies run your credit when you apply for a loan, apply for automobile insurance, and, and they charge based on your credit score. And it's a well-known fact that if a person has a 700 plus Beacon score, that they're not going to have frivolous claims because they're more financially stable. They manage their money. They do a better job of managing what's going on in their life. A person with a lower credit score, they're not going to manage their finances as much as the other person. So it's and again, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So you call up Geico, Progressive, Allstate, any of them, and you apply for a loan. Apply for insurance, and they give you a rate that's based on your driver's record and your credit score, because there's a relationship between your credit score and your frequency of claims. Now, a lot of people can't get with that, and they that's not true. Hell, you can call any insurance agent in America, and they'll tell you that is true. But you think that it's not because why? Because you're thinking for yourself without doing the research. Some people they bug the hell out of me. But anyway, so if you'll go to my YouTube channel, you'll find a page where the guy has an Allstate shirt on. It's a white shirt. There's Allstate on it, and his name is Renee Manfrey, and he's still with Premier. He's still associated with Premier. I may put that video on my website just to help you. I don't know if it's on there. It may be on there already, but we have a number of. If you go to the website, it's youandyourcredit.us. You'll see a number of people that we had on the show over the years. We've been here for 5 years, and we're here to provide legitimate access to information to people. And these things actually are remedies. They're remedies to your problems. I assure you, that these are actual people that actually went through our process and benefited from the process over the years. We've been around since 2014. This didn't start yesterday. Since 2014, we've been doing videos. We've got actual testimonies on the website If you go to a website, I'm sure there's somebody that you've seen that you may know that's on that website. And what happens is when you go to those videos, it will direct you to our YouTube channel. And you'll be able to see other people and other information that we've been able to communicate about over the last 5 years. It astounds me. It just, as a matter of fact, I talked to this person last night, and he was telling me something. I said, "But I can't talk to you no more, because you bug the shit out of me. I can't talk to people who talk all the time and never listen and never pick up, don't know nothing, man. Empty wagon makes a lot of noise." But I want to say this before I go. We're about to leave. Our show's about over. There's something called the Federal Trade Commission. And in the Federal Trade Commission, there's the Federal Building Act, the Fair Credit Collections Act. There's federal rules, federal laws that are there to give you the opportunity to play in this game. If you're not up on your game, then you're not gonna benefit. But if you want to be up on your game, man, if you want to have a good credit score, I love you, man. But I'm actually looking at your information, just so you know. I know you're watching the show. You let me know earlier. We have a number of people that are watching the show. I give my heart to this cause because I know the change, the effect that I've had on lots of people, and I intend to help you. Free credit report, youandyourcredit.us. Check us out. Remus Bowman on the New Orleans Talk Network. Thank you for joining me. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.